A harsh reality about desire exists that most men won't acknowledge. The instant you begin pursuing a woman, you've sealed your fate. This isn't because women are manipulative or enjoy psychological warfare, but because desire functions according to timeless laws. Laws that favor strength and penalize neediness, that benefit the self-possessed and eliminate the desperate. You've been conditioned to believe love demands pursuit, that romance requires sacrifice, that capturing a woman's heart means demonstrating your dedication through relentless effort. But what if your entire education about desire isn't merely incorrect, but completely inverted from how attraction genuinely operates? Niccolò Machiavelli observed, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." This insight exposes the core misunderstanding that ruins most men's love lives. They assume attraction involves proving their value, when it actually requires embodying worth. The distinction between these approaches determines whether you spend your existence pleading for minimal female attention or naturally commanding the admiration and passion of exceptional women. The typical man approaches desire like a salesperson, frantically attempting to persuade women of his merit through explanation, proof, and relentless pursuit. He recites his credentials like a resume, overwhelms women with focus like marketing campaigns, and seeks validation like candidates seeking votes. However, desire doesn't function like business transactions. It operates like territorial acquisition, not the domination kind, but the respect kind. And respect never comes through begging. It's established through self-mastery. The self-possessed man doesn't pursue because he grasps a basic truth. What's easily acquired holds inherently less worth. When you become perpetually accessible, infinitely flexible, and obviously eager, you signal one clear message: that your life contains nothing more important than circling her world, hoping for minimal acknowledgement. This conduct activates what researchers call inverted rejection sensitivity. Just as rejection-sensitive people read neutral actions as dismissal, people interpret excessive availability as desperation. And desperation extinguishes desire. Examine how we perceive value. Premium brands don't plead with customers to purchase their offerings. Elite establishments don't repeatedly phone asking for reservations. High-status people don't chase possibilities. They establish circumstances that make possibilities pursue them. Identical dynamics govern romantic attraction. The man who messages instantly, who's perpetually available whenever she desires, who abandons everything to fit her timetable, broadcasts that his time holds zero value. And when his time is worthless, so is he. Conversely, the man who replies thoughtfully instead of immediately, who maintains his own agenda and commitments, who genuinely enjoys her presence without desperate craving, this man broadcasts something fundamentally different. He demonstrates that his existence is sufficiently fulfilling, that her involvement enriches rather than completes it. This distinction matters profoundly because it unveils the primary law of compelling masculinity. Desire gravitates toward the already complete, not toward those seeking completion. Women aren't drawn to men requiring them. They're drawn to men selecting them. The gap between requirement and selection separates desperation from desire, scarcity from plenty, fragility from power. When you require female approval to feel valuable, you burden her with responsibility for your self-worth. This creates tremendous weight no well-adjusted person wants bearing. It converts potential joyful connection into exhausting maintenance work where she must continuously support your delicate ego. But when you select a woman from wholeness, you present something rare and precious, alliance with someone who enriches her existence rather than demands she enhance his. This introduces the second law. Enigma attracts because it suggests complexity. Most men catastrophically err by exposing their entire existence early in attraction. They divulge every biographical detail, every mental process, every future intention. They assume transparency creates closeness, that complete revelation demonstrates authenticity. But premature openness doesn't generate intimacy. It eliminates fascination. When you immediately expose everything about yourself, You destroy the curiosity fueling sustained interest. You become a completely read book rather than a progressively unfolding narrative. Enigma isn't deception or scheming. It's pacing and judgment. It's understanding that disclosure only holds power when earned and appropriately timed. It's recognizing certain things become more captivating when gradually discovered rather than instantly dumped. The enigmatic man isn't concealing his identity. He's revealing it, progressively. Each encounter offers fresh perspectives, additional dimensions, deeper levels to investigate. This generates what researchers term variable reinforcement, the most potent psychological conditioning form. When rewards arrive unpredictably in varying amounts, they gain greater value and become more compelling than steady, predictable rewards. The man who unfolds gradually creates experiences where each discovery feels rewarding, making women anticipate the next revelation. However, enigma only functions with substance underneath. Therefore, the third law proves essential. Emotional command forms the bedrock of masculine strength. Nothing destroys attraction quicker than emotional chaos. The man exploding in rage when confronted, becoming anxious over delayed responses, sulking over changed arrangements. This man reveals he cannot manage his own emotional condition's basic responsibilities. Emotional command doesn't mean emotional denial. It means emotional independence, the capacity to feel intensely while controlling responses. It means experiencing anger without destructiveness, feeling wounded without vengefulness, experiencing disappointment without bitterness. This mastery attracts because it communicates capability. If you can't manage your own feelings, how can anyone trust you handling life's unavoidable challenges? If minor inconveniences or relationship difficulties derail you, how can anyone depend on you during major crises? Women constantly test men's emotional steadiness, often unconsciously. They might delay message responses, suddenly change arrangements, or create small conflicts observing your reaction. These aren't cruel games. They're instinctive evaluations of your emotional durability. The man passing these assessments demonstrates his disposition, and self-value don't depend on her actions. He stays centered despite external circumstances. This generates safety and security deeply attractive to women exhausted from managing men's emotional reactions. But emotional command extends beyond controlling reactions. It involves what Stoics call desire discipline, the ability to want without requiring, to prefer without demanding, to appreciate without depending. When you genuinely value a woman's companionship without devastation in her absence, you demonstrate emotional maturity most men never reach. You prove you're present by selection rather than compulsion, making your presence a gift instead of obligation. If you're finding this viewpoint valuable, please like this video and subscribe for additional content challenging you toward genuine masculine strength rather than the ineffective strategies most men use. This emotional independence naturally leads to the fourth law. Limits aren't obstacles. They're pathways to respect. Most men fear establishing limits with women, dreading conflict or rejection. They tolerate disrespect, accept poor treatment, and permit standard erosion, claiming to maintain peace or prove devotion. But this tolerance doesn't demonstrate love. It demonstrates desperation. When you accept treatment you'd refuse from anyone else, you communicate that your standards negotiate and your self-respect conditions. Limits aren't about controlling her conduct. They're about defining acceptable treatment. They're about establishing engagement terms rather than demanding specific behaviors. For instance, if she consistently cancels arrangements last minute, the limit isn't, "You must honor our plans." The limit is, "I don't date people disrespecting my time." If this pattern continues, I'll explore other opportunities. This distinction matters because it preserves your authority while respecting her autonomy. You're not controlling her choices. You're clarifying those choices' consequences for your relationship. When you enforce limits consistently and calmly, something powerful occurs. She learns you respect yourself enough to exit situations not serving you. This self-respect becomes magnetic because it proves you value yourself enough maintaining standards. Many men fear limits will drive women away. The opposite holds true. Women lose respect for standardless men. They can't feel desire for someone they can dominate. They need feeling you're strong enough, standing firm to feel safe, surrendering to your guidance. The secret is enforcing limits without theatrics or emotional pressure. You simply state your position clearly and follow through reliably. If she respects the limit, the relationship strengthens. If not, you know she's unsuitable. This introduces the fifth and paramount law. Mission attracts more than any individual person. The most magnetic quality men possess isn't wealth, appearance, or charisma. It's having purpose transcending romantic relationships. When women encounter men genuinely focused on building something meaningful, creating something valuable, or pursuing something significant, they feel drawn to that purposefulness. Purpose attracts because it proves your existence holds meaning independent of her presence. You're not seeking someone providing life direction. You already have direction, and you're seeking someone worthy of sharing that path. Most men err by abandoning goals and priorities the moment they become interested in women. They drop hobbies, neglect friendships, and suspend ambitions to spend every moment pursuing her attention. This behavior isn't romantic, it's pitiful. It reveals you have nothing worthwhile protecting. It demonstrates your priorities are so weak they're instantly rearranged by romantic interest. But the man maintaining mission focus, continuing career building, honoring commitments and pursuits regardless of romantic developments, this man communicates something powerful. He shows he's not desperately seeking completion through relationships, but rather seeking someone worthy joining his already meaningful existence. This doesn't mean coldness or unavailability. It means being selective and deliberate about time and energy investment. It means creating space for the right woman without abandoning the things making you attractive initially. When you possess genuine purpose, you naturally become less needy and more assured. You're not filling emptiness through romance. You're offering to share fullness with someone deserving it. This abundance mentality irresistibly attracts because it promises addition, not subtraction, enhancement, not obligation. Purpose also provides natural conversation material and demonstrates competence. Women are attracted to men building, creating, or working towards something meaningful. It shows you possess discipline, vision, and capability achieving goals. Qualities suggesting you could be dependable partnership. But perhaps most crucially, having purpose protects you from the emotional destruction ruining most men when relationships end. If your entire identity and happiness wraps around one person, losing them means losing yourself. But with clear mission and meaningful pursuits, romantic loss becomes disappointment rather than devastation. This protection allows loving more freely and authentically. When you're not terrified of loss, you don't cling desperately. When you're not dependent on one person for all happiness, you don't demand more than any individual can reasonably provide. Understanding why these laws work requires examining attraction's deeper psychology. Most men operate under false belief that attraction is logical, that presenting sufficient worthiness evidence makes women choose them. But attraction operates on emotional and instinctual levels completely divorced from logical evaluation. Fundamentally, attraction responds to indicators of emotional stability, social capability, and independent, thriving ability. When you chase desperately, you signal these qualities' opposites. You demonstrate instability through neediness, incompetence through boundarylessness, and dependence rather than independence. But when you naturally embody the 5 laws, you activate genuine value signals. Your refusal to chase demonstrates abundance. Your enigma suggests depth. Your emotional command shows stability. Your limits indicate self-respect. Your purpose reveals competence. These aren't manipulative tactics. They're authentic masculine development indicators. Each law strengthens others, creating self-reinforcing cycles where attractive behavior becomes inevitable because you've developed the inner foundation making it natural. This comprehensive development explains why piecemeal attraction approaches often fail. Men trying to appear hard to get without genuine purpose seem game-playing rather than naturally selective. Men attempting mystery without depth appear shallow rather than intriguing. But when these qualities develop organically through genuine inner work, they create magnetic masculinity. A presence naturally attracting without pursuing, commanding respect without demanding it. and inspiring desire without manufacturing it. This magnetism develops because these laws align with fundamental psychological truths about human nature. People are drawn to confidence, intrigued by mystery, comforted by stability, attracted to strength, and inspired by purpose. When you naturally embody these qualities, attraction becomes effortless because you're simply being someone worthy of attraction. But understand this: these laws only work when they come from genuine development rather than strategic manipulation. You can't fake confidence lacking reasons for confidence. You can't maintain mystery lacking depth to reveal. The path to magnetic masculinity requires genuine self-work. It means building lives so engaging you don't need external validation, feeling engaged. It means developing emotional intelligence and resilience through practice and challenge. It means establishing values and limits based on genuine self-respect rather than people-pleasing. This inner work is difficult, which is why most men avoid it. Learning pickup lines is easier than developing genuine confidence. Playing games is easier than building real value. But this path's difficulty is precisely what makes it powerful. Because so few men willingly do the real developmental work, those who do automatically stand out. In a world full of desperate, needy, boundaryless men, the one who's done his inner work becomes instantly magnetic simply by being rare. This rarity isn't about perfection. It's about taking responsibility for your own growth, facing weaknesses honestly, and building your life intentionally, rather than just letting it happen to you. The process begins with brutal self-evaluation. You must honestly assess where you currently stand in each of the 5 areas. Are you someone who chases, or someone who attracts? Do you overshare or maintain appropriate mystery? Can you handle your emotions, or do they handle you? Most men discover they have work needed in multiple areas. This isn't failure, it's opportunity. Every weakness you identify is a chance building genuine strength, serving you lifelong. The development process requires patience because real change happens gradually. But as you build real capability in each area, something remarkable happens. The attractive behaviors stop feeling like performance and start feeling natural. You stop chasing because you genuinely have better things to do. You maintain mystery because you're actually interesting enough that gradual self-revelation makes sense. This transformation often creates what feels paradoxical. The more you focus on building yourself rather than attracting women, the more attractive you become to quality women. This happens because women can sense the difference between authentic development and strategic performance. Authentic development creates what researchers call integrated confidence, a quiet certainty from knowing you can handle whatever life throws at you. This confidence attracts because it promises stability and competence. Strategic performance, by contrast, creates fragile confidence, a facade requiring constant maintenance that fractures under pressure. The path to integrated confidence requires building competence across multiple life areas. This might mean developing professional skills, making you genuinely proud of your work. It could involve physical training, giving you confidence in your body and capabilities. Each genuine competence area adds to your overall confidence reserve. When you know you can handle challenges across multiple domains, you naturally become less needy and more secure. This security translates into all 5 magnetic masculinity laws without conscious effort. But perhaps the most important development area is what ancient philosophers called practical wisdom, the ability making good decisions under pressure, seeing situations clearly without emotional distortion, and responding to challenges with appropriate action rather than reactive emotion. This wisdom develops through experience, reflection, and conscious practice. It requires facing difficult situations rather than avoiding them, learning from failures rather than being destroyed by them, and developing judgment from testing your principles against reality. When you possess practical wisdom, you naturally embody all 5 magnetic masculinity laws. You don't chase because you can assess situations accurately and invest energy appropriately. You maintain healthy mystery because you understand discretion and pacing's value. You master your emotions because you've learned responding rather than reacting. You enforce limits because you understand their importance for healthy relationships.